Hello you lovely lot and welcome back. I'm just going to show you a little bit of what I'm going to end up looking like in the end. Just to keep you interested, obviously we're going to do a little bit of an eye, and just because Victoria Beckham has her brilliant Netflix documentary out, I thought I would share one of her products with you that is a little bit misunderstood. It's really popular, but there's a little trick in the application, so I'm going to share that with you later. It's a great show, isn't it? Oh my gosh, so much to talk about. And I literally can't talk down the lens about this show because you're not talking back to me. But at the end of the day, I think she is incredibly remarkable. Against all the odds, she literally went into the eye of the fashion storm and she did it. I just think it was very insightful and many other things. So this is the look for today. Let's start with skincare, and I'm using Dematica, and Dematica have got another amazing discount code for you all. Now, if you followed me for a long time, you'll know that I love Dematica. The reasons I love Dematica, it is an affordable, personalised skincare for you. And in the years of working with lots of different women, I found that people waste the most amount of money just trying to solve skin issues by buying a pot of cream that looks nice or has great marketing, but it's not bespoke to them. So with a company like Dematica, you actually send photographs of your skin to their dermatology team and they suggest what would be best for your skin and what results you want. And normally see results within about 6 weeks, so be patient. They have just launched a brand new serum. Now, I was absolutely delighted. This is a hyaluronic serum because when you're using actives, that you use your active at night, you want to make sure that, again, like I spoke about last week, that you're keeping that lovely hydration into your skin. Now, a good way to see a really brilliant hyaluronic acid. Now this has 5 molecular weights, so it hydrates the skin at lots of different depths on the skin surface. But can you see it's not particularly runny? It's obviously running, but it's got this lovely, I'm going to put it to camera, that might be helpful, lovely kind of gel bounce to it. So when you pop it on your skin, it feels really calming and soothing. It contains lots of antioxidants, lots of niacinamide, and it just glides onto the skin. Now, the great thing about hyaluronic, especially if you're using actives in the evening and you feel that your moisture barrier is slightly disrupted, use the hyaluronic on top of makeup after your moisturizer. When your skin begins to feel tight, hyaluronic is one of those wonderful products that absorbs the moisture from the air and keeps it in your skin, and it layers beautifully. So you can just press it into your skin throughout the day. And a lot of people just use it within their skincare routine in the morning and the evening, and they don't think about it using it at other times. Hyaluronic is also in this lovely, it's like a liquid gel. It's also lovely on the lips. And if you've got dry lips, put it on your lips first, rub it in, allow it to absorb, and then put your balm on. Boom, massive difference. It is one of my top tips, again, that people aren't aware of, and that makes a huge difference to your lips. So the code is, all the details are below, but it's 50% off your first 3 months and 20% off their brand new serum. So I encourage you to check it out. So lovely, lovely skincare, all done. I'd had my SPF on, I put the hyaluronic on over the top, and it gives like a lovely tacky finish. I'm going to start with the Cell Rejuvenating Illuminator by the lady herself, Miss Victoria Beckham. It is a very heavy, she could be sort of a weapon if you felt the need. A very heavy, luxurious primer. I was very kindly, well, not very kindly sent this, I judged it for a beauty awards coming up soon. And I was really, really impressed. Let me just remove the excess of that hyaluronic off the back of my hands and show you. There's actually 3 colours. There's a bronze, there's a kind of like sort of more rosy colour, and this is the universal, I believe. I really like this because it adds a very soft amount of light. So almost if you did put it around the T-zone like I was talking about last week, it wouldn't matter so much. I tend to avoid it myself. But just putting it on the outside of your face, it creates this lovely glow which lasts. Now you'd expect that for the price, right? But my bugbear on a lot of these illuminizers is that you put it on, as soon as it dries, it just disappears and you get back to your normal skin. So I'm always double checking how it goes throughout the day. And does it still give that lightness and definition to your skin? So it's very elegant, it's very soft, it's very subtle, but it also gives this like slight tightness to your skin, very subtly, because I would not like that if I felt tight to my face like that. So if you're looking for a very expensive deluxe primer with Augustina Bader skincare, then maybe you want to put this on your Christmas list, right? So let us start with a little bit of, oh no, I know what I wanted to show you. The new skin tint by Armani. Funny time of year to bring out a skin tint. It is a long wear and care skin tint by Armani, and I'm using the shade M2. So I went to the launch of the day. They've got a big launch coming out in February, but this is their launch now. This is really, really light and liquidy. Now I've gone in quite warm because it does thin out, but I've really appreciated this kind of like trans-seasonal warmth to my skin. It feels, as you would expect, like skincare, like tinted skincare on your complexion. Now, I would definitely recommend that you apply it just like I do with your hands, because it's very light and it's thin and it's delicate and it's nourishing. Any sponge or brush is just going to whip up that formula and it's going in the bin. And you just want to have it on your skin because you've paid a decent amount of money for it, right? Zero effort, really, really nice colour. Neutralise the redness just enough. I'll need something a little bit heavier. Really been enjoying those CQ concealers, by the way. In fact, maybe I'll match it now with the CQ concealer because it's nice and light. Or maybe I'll go in with the Merit. I think the Merit one I've got here is a little bit light. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's a little bit light, this Merit. I'll wait till I'm a little bit paler. That's shade Linen. I need to get a little bit of a darker one. So there we go with the tint. As you would expect, really light. I can't feel it on my skin. Feels beautiful and is a very, very, very nice shade. So let's go in with my CQ because I've been using that a lot. I'm just going to do little dabs I've learnt because it goes a long way. Again, I'm rubbing in with my fingers and then I'm going to go in with the brush. Now again, you can see that I've gone in quite warm because I don't want to pale out my complexion. Lovely. So I leave that like that and then I go in with the super light one. And I just put that under my eyes very gently and then blend it all in together. Again, the ingredients of both of these products, all three products, feel and hopefully look very premium. And I'm going to take a big brush and just blend those tones in together. So if you do have a concealer that you think, oh no, it's a bit too dark for me now, just use it strategically in those places. so that you don't end up looking really pale. Like if you watch people do their makeup and they just look so pale, there is a place for that, and then you put in the colour and contour. But when you're using such light formulations, you can put a little bit of warmth and a little bit of light here and then blend them together with the brush. It's all about the fusing of the colours and the tones and the textures to create that makeup that looks invisible, that looks very soft. I think we all, or the people that I definitely work with or that I'm teaching, definitely kind of get sort of stuck. Oh no, that's too dark. You know, I need to, make that a little bit lighter. Just blend, just play. Don't worry too much. It's a really funny, and I've known this. Oh, here we go. I've noticed this when I used to do big master classes in like Selfridges and big stores like that. I had a contract back in the day with Clinique, and women would be so concerned about the lipstick that they were putting on, and I was like, it's just a lipstick. You can take it off. Nowadays people are, injecting whatnot into their face without a second thought. Just putting a little bit of the light one very delicately just over my lid. The lipstick or an eyeshadow you can just take off whenever you desire, so just experiment. So this feels super light, always nice with a little brush. The fluffier the brush, the more delicate the application. Now I'm going to do a little bit of powder, and I'm just absolutely loving the Bare Minerals Bare Pro. This again is shade 20 Warm, but it just gives that little bit of extra coverage and pigment in those areas that I want to knock back. And again, just using it with the tiniest of brush, because I don't want a big heavy powder. Right, I'm going to start with cheeks to give myself some colour. Now last week or the week before, I talked about the blushes that have this lovely iridescent one. Again, there's another Suki one, but I'll show you that another week. But the two ones that I've first found, because obviously it's a little bit of a trend, are these from Ilia. Really, really beautiful. Now I haven't worn powder blush in a long time because I love the freshness of cream. But look, so the formulation feels almost quite dry, but it's very iridescent, and then when you touch it, it's like silk. So let's place it on the brush and let's twist it. And I want to give myself like a nice full cheek so that it catches the colour and I look nice and fresh. My face, I can look quite angular sometimes. So with this blush and with this soft colour, I'm just going to whisk the blush over my cheek. And I think we can be braver with our blush placement when we are using nice, soft, sheer colours. It's when you have those very pigmented blushes that you put it on, you're like, oh God, and you're actually trying to use the brush on your complexion to remove the pigment. This, I'm trying to build it. But isn't that beautiful? It's really, really soft. And yes, you can see a little bit of my pigmentation through it. My skin doesn't look perfect, but I don't care actually, because I think that makes the whole look more real. Now, I didn't put the brush, gosh, I've got a problem with my pronunciation today. I didn't put the brush back into the palette. I used what I had left back on it, which is nice. You can also put a little bit just across your forehead if you want, and then go ahead and just blend that in, or just take it off. But just adding that little bit of warmth there to see how that picks up and brightens my complexion and my eyes. So again, flat brush, make sure that you've got the pigment evenly distributed. You want to make sure that you keep this area around your eye really nice and clean and bright. And then place the colour where you want the most intensity. So nice. very delicate, very delicate. I'm actually pressing, wish I could, you know, let you see how much pressure I'm using, a lot, just to kind of fuse it into the skin. And the nice thing about powder, which is lovely, is that it does last a little bit longer. Cream's not so bad on my skin because I've got dry skin, but it lasts just a little bit longer than a cream. And just push that into the socket. Again, very, very delicate. And you can see just how it lifts and elevates my skin. Now, I brought the blush too close on this, too far down on this side. Can you see? So I'm going to take a clean brush with a little bit. Let me just see how I tidy it up first. I'll put a little bit of the lighter concealer onto my brush. I've just put a little bit on my hand. Just blowing that out makes sure that you don't overdo the product in this area of our mouths, around our mouths. Just making sure that you just soften that. So you want a lovely colour at the side, but just using this lovely buffing brush just takes that edge off. Lovely. Very nice. It's this part that you just want to push up. So just really analyse your face and just see that, that you're filling up this part of your cheek to give yourself that lift. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of a lip now before I go on to my eye. And I'm going to be using this really lovely Jones Road lip pencil. I think it's called Rosewood. These are nice because they blend really well into the lip, as you can see with my lip brush. Because my lips are textured at the top, I don't want too much pigment gathering. Such a nice shade. In fact, I haven't used my Trini Miracle Blur, so I'll use that now. It shouldn't be called Speed Beauty, it should be sort of called Haphazard Beauty. But this is how it is, isn't it, when you're doing your makeup? Please agree with me. You put something on, you think, oh no, I'm not sure about that. And then you fix it with something else, depending on the light, depending on what you're wearing. Nice. And let's just edge that line up very slightly to fill out. This lip is a little bit shy in width, so it's quite nice to push that out. Now I'm going to match this with a lovely Vive Socialite lip oil. Now this is gorgeous and I love it. Well, I love the lip oil texture, but the lip oils are normally sparkly, but this is like a really beautiful caramel fudgy nude. And the doe foots are so comfy. You know how some doe foots you put on your lip and it feels a bit scratchy, like you've got the bit of plastic from the applicator? This just feels all snuggly. And I'm doing it in the interior of the lip. So it's nestled within the Rosewood lip liner. She's coming together. And don't worry, if you feel that you've gone overboard, let me just turn that off. Then just soften again with your cotton bud or lip brush, however you feel. Okay, fine. So now I've got to push the eyes back. So let me do a little bit of blink brow, lifting to extend my eyebrows, to pull them out. Nice soft kohl. This is a really nice shade, actually, the eyebrow pencil from BB London. It's called Cool Blonde. There's no red in that at all. And it's nice and creamy, but it's not too much. Just smudge that in, nice and quick, and always give a little brush through. Love this bronzer. I love the blush because it's picking up a little bit on the lip now as well, isn't it? So I need to soften it at the side there. Oh no, I know what I wanted to show you. I'm going to soften it in a second. YSL have bought some new powder highlighters out, and they're so nice. This is the shade All Hours Hyper Lumiere. I haven't taken the plastic off there. They've got a really beautiful white one, and this is a subtle pink, and I wore it out the other night, and my friend's husband was like, oh, you're like, your face is all glowy and light and lit, he said. I was like, great. I knew why. This. So I was talking about this the other day. It was now about the powder highlighters. Oh, it's really punchy. I've probably overdone it. I have overdone it. So I've placed that there. If you do what I have done, then you get a small brush and you extend it. The one that I used was the whiter one because I was wearing a creamy jumper, and I felt like really tired, and it just lifted my complexion. Now I'm just fusing this in with the blush there. You see how that looks quite stripy now? And that just looks sort of more glowy. Now let's fuse that in. So little circles with a small brush is what is good. And just be kind of courageous about it. Don't be too worried. Just let it flow. The sun's coming in. And that balances really nicely. Okay, so let's start with the eye. I'm going to use the number 22 eye tint from Armani. First of all, I think this shade is a real classic, as in terms of it is the easiest, kind of most neutral, matte, creamy shade that doesn't look too warm, doesn't look too cool, and it doesn't affect the texture of my eyelid. Like, it doesn't make it look more crepey. It doesn't go into little lines. It doesn't gather. Let me just blend that out. It's the number 22 that just almost feels like a natural shadow of my eye. So I can bring it up really, really close. Oh God, that's so nice. Isn't it funny? It's like the simplest of colours. I know a lot of the makeups that I do are quite simple, but there's a lot going on in them, as you know. But just in the photo, they look simple, but I think that's what we want nowadays, isn't it? Just little bits to kind of amplify our bone structure in our eyes. And that just makes such a difference. You've seen the progression of these soft tones on my makeup. Obviously the blush is, you know, the sort of key focus to this look. But as everything else comes together, the blush alone looks strong, but then when you put the lips and the eyes together, it all just works together. And that's sort of about trusting the process, isn't it? So my two favourite Victoria Beckham pencils are, Cocoa and Smoky Quartz. It's a matte, deep brown matte. And the Smoky Quartz is just something a little bit fancy. It's a little bit metallic, but for this, I'm going to go for a little bit of a dark vibe. Now, the thing is, these are, I will talk as I apply, super, super creamy. You must always keep the lid on because they will dry out if you don't care for them. Okay, they maintain their lovely, rich, silky softness if you keep the lid on. What you need to do is just wait a beat before you continue with your makeup so that it actually has time to set and it lasts all day. So it's sort of like the effect of a gel, but it's not, it's a kohl, but it really, really lasts. Now I want to get a little bit of a lift on my eye here, and this is why this works well, because I can just lay the flatness there and pull it up, constantly checking that I'm not bringing it down, so it's always like a lift up from here. Now I flick the pencil over and then just really blend, because my eyelids are wonky bonky and irregular, so I can't have anything that is a strong graphic shape because it just won't read like that. And I just smudge, smudge, smudge. You don't need to set it with anything because it sets down really well. There she is. Now, just to soften that edge, where's my little pointy one? I'm just going to bring that in and go back in, and really making sure, the key thing with this look, or any look, when you're putting deep colour by the lash, is that you're wedging the colour right into the lash line, so that when you look directly at someone, all you see is that lovely richness. Now when I put mascara on, that'll all tie together, but I still like the cleanness of everything else. You've seen me use her interior waterline white pencil, off-white pencil, which I really love. That's actually in my Pro kit and oily. Maybe I'll get that out to finish the look. But I love that little bit of softness, and it just ticks out on the outside. Should we just do one eye? Oh no, we get on and do it. So make sure it's nice and sharp. Draw it in on the inside, tickling the eye. And then when you get to the center here, when you get to the top part of your eye, then you want to get a little bit of width, because that will aid the lift, okay? Just make sure you get a clean line though. If you don't, now is your time to correct, because it will set. So stretch your skin, if the skin is loose like mine, to help you, and then double back on the outer corner if that's the effect that you want. But just don't go in and smudge it so quickly, because it will just go to nothing. And that's what people haven't liked. So you put it on, it smudges and it doesn't last. It's because you've put it on and you've literally rubbed it off, which is such a key thing that so many people do. Oh, somebody's at the door. Now let's just see if one of the lads answers it. Good boys. Willow opened my filming door, so there we go. There we go, and just pull it out. Oh, just a package being chucked at me. There. Who else has used these? Do you like them? Maybe I'll just use this one before Christmas. It's really, really nice. I love this with a strong lip, because it just gives that je ne sais quoi to the eye, you know, just a little bit of razzle dazzle without too much hardness. Right, so we're going to go in with the Panoramic, I got this yesterday, Panoramic Volume Million Lashes All Night Black. So they've got my favourite mascara in a richer, darker black. Look at this. So the same brush, great. Just the formula is even richer. Now, if you want to make this look stronger, you can obviously tight line. And there's a couple of great pencils actually to tight line underneath, which I've been testing thoroughly. One of those is Stila, and the other one is another Suku. Suku I'm absolutely loving at the moment. And I actually went to an event last week that was hosted by the brilliant Val Garland, who did her makeup in front of everybody using Suku. And the lady who is based in the UK, who runs the brand, got in touch and said, thank you very much. I've seen your post. I've seen what you've said about said product, the concealers, the blushes. And I was like, wow, that's efficiency. Because can you imagine trying to trace and follow all the comments and likes from people using your brand? That is a full-time job in itself. She is lifted, but subtle. Again, God, I can just keep chatting to you lot. Again, the key thing when you're doing this, I'm not going to go for the tight lining, by the way. I'll just do that another time, because I don't want it to look too hard, because I'm in a jumper and a shirt and it's sort of soft. I don't want it to look too exaggerated. If it was more dynamic, if it was like for an evening thing, if I had a little black dress, I would intensify that eye even more. But then I would probably give a little bit of balance with a little bit of under eyelash. It's just playful, right? So just make sure that when you put your liner on, if you feel that your liner is shrinking your eye, look to see where the tips of your lashes are. Because if the tips of your lashes aren't revealing themselves, either chuck on a few little individuals to get that tip, but it will just close your eye otherwise. So let's shake out the hair. Thanks for all the lovely comments on my Instagram with my new hair colour. God, it's nice to keep a little bit of blonde in for the winter, isn't it? It feels like a bit of a sunny halo. Anyway, I hope you got a few tips and tricks to add to your makeup routine. And as usual, I will enjoy getting my own cup of tea and reading your comments on a Saturday afternoon. Sometimes I get in really early when 9 o'clock comes in. I'm like, oh, I can see the comments come in. I'm like, morning. So I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, see you next time. Bye for now.